There you go. Ask the Most High to do it. Come to Shalom Yasharella. All praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's worthy to be praised for everything. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua in the name of the anointed Savior. So it is the new month, first day of the new month. So we're going to celebrate the new month. Some call it the new moon. I call it the new month because it's the first day of the month. And we're going to look at Numbers, the 10th chapter, the 10th verse. Numbers 10 and 10. And it says, also in the day of your gladness. So it's a feast day. So it's supposed to be a glad time. See, the day of your gladness and in your solemn days. And in the beginnings of your months, which is the beginnings of our month today. The first day of the month, our month. You shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your power. I am the Most High, your power. So this is what we done, you know. But now we know that Mashiach Yahushua being the ultimate sacrifice, that we have to apply this in our life today. And it's a time of gladness. Go to Romans, the 12th chapter. Romans, the 12th chapter. And verse 1. Romans 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High. That's not getting something you deserve a lot of times. That you present your bodies, that's our bodies, a living sacrifice. Holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. You see? So, he's letting us know that we got to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, which is our reasonable service, he said. He said, and listen what he said, and be not conformed to this world. He said, don't be conformed to this world, as many are. You know, if anything coming out in the world, everybody's all into it. They conform to this world. They love this world. The wickedness that's in this world. But be ye transformed, how? By the renewing of your mind. This is how you be born again. By the renewing of your mind. Why I say renew? Because you've been brought into a world of gross darkness, gross ignorance. Mashiach was in a world of darkness. He said he's the light. The light is the law. He brought the law of the Most High to the people. He's an example. He said the light shined in darkness, and darkness comprehended. The darkness comprehended not. The people that's in darkness, ignorance, and not knowing, they can't comprehend this. It's too hard for them. Because you got to think. That's why he said, and be not conformed to this world. This world will have you dumbed down so you be going to hell right with it. But be you transformed by the renewing of your mind, the way you think. That you may prove that is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Right? So he told us what was good in Romans 7 and 12, a few verses back. It says, Romans 7 and 12, wherefore the law, this is the law of the Most High that he wrote with his finger. The work of the Most High is holy. You see? And the commandment, holy. And what? And just and good. You see? So, this is what we're looking at. Our change. Because James 4 and 4 says what it says. Let's look at it. If you conform to this world, and you allow this world to have you caught up in it, and or anyone from the world that has your mind mesmerized in their thinking, and they can't go into the scriptures and show you nothing. But they have all this verbiage and all the things they have to say to you, and you don't recognize Satan because you don't know the wiles of the devil. Or you wouldn't be caught up and his devices to have you conform to his world. It's his world. And he gets in the minds of people to have you think wrong. He gets in the minds of people to have you speak wrong. He gets in the minds of the people to have you act wrong. That's why it says in Ecclesiastes 3:24, true scripture, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion overthrown their judgment. So they allow the devil, who's already in them. I just posted a picture that I said to a lot of people with a big old man, like a heavy weight over his shoulder. He's holding his head. All this baggage that they're carrying, and they won't let it go because they'll come up with generational curses. I've heard this over and over again. So therefore, they won't get closer and closer and closer to the Most High. They want to know more and more and more and more spiritually. So where are they at? James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses. Many men, they go outside their marriage to sleep with a married woman. They got a woman. Or may have many wives or whatever. And still go outside their marriage and sleep with a married woman, another man's woman. These things got to stop. That's how you be not dealing with being consumed by this world. So I say adulterers, that's men that sleep with other men's women. And adulteresses, women that's with a man and she going out there dealing with another man, sleeping with another man. And they're going to never be satisfied because they're doing these things of the world. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world, that's letting you know. You doing these things, you have friendship with the world. Is enmity with the Most High. So you at war with the Most High, but you will point the finger at mortal man and say, hey, it's you. But you really got a problem with the Most High. And you're going to have to deal with the Most High. One day or another, one way or another. Like I say, one day or another, or one way or another. You're going to have to deal with the Most High. Because he said you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. Ain't no where you going to go. Where you going to run from the sky? Where you going to run from the Most High? That's what you got to realize. That's why he said let your body be a living sacrifice. You got to do good. And that's keep the laws of the Most High. And endure. I mean, we in the last days, whether you want to accept it or not. Better believe it. We're going to look at Colossians 2:16. I find a lot of so-called religious people use this scripture in error, or an Israelite might use it in error, and they're not keeping the new month. It's called the new moon in the scriptures, but it's called the new month. First day of the month. Feast. Or the holy convocations. Or the Sabbath, for that matter. It just happened to fall on the Sabbath. But Colossians 2:16, look at this. It said, let no man therefore judge you in meat. You're not eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, and oyster, and all the things that's abominable from Leviticus, the 11th chapter. Deuteronomy, I think it's the 26th chapter. The dietary law. Meat or in drink. We can drink a little yah-yah, which is wine, or strong drink. He said take away the pains of those that feel they go perish. Just in moderation, though. Or in respect of an holy day. We observing the holy day. Some people are not. The new month, the first day of the month. Say your gladness. Supposed to be rejoicing in this. Supposed to be a happy time. That we eat, come together, eat, and have a good time. A respect of an holy day. So what Christian or religious person is keeping the holy days of the Most High? Which one of you in your religion can name your church that's keeping all the holy days of the Most High? And you're observing, whether it's this day or whatever day it is, the new month, the first day of the month. That's a feast day that the Most High ordained. You're going to see he ordained this in Joseph when he was in Egypt. That long ago. Before we came into the wilderness, this was already ordained. Every first day of the month, we had a party. We feasted. We had a good time. And it's going to be in the kingdom. In respect of an unholy day or of the new moon. This is what we looking at. The first day of the month. Called a new month, new moon. They named it new moon, but it's the first day of the month. That's a feast day. Or of the Sabbath days. The Sabbath days, all the holy convocations are Sabbath days and the regular Sabbath day. Right? So they'll use this as say, you can't judge me, but they're not keeping the holy days. If you're not doing it, it's talking about we that are doing it, don't let nobody judge us from doing what we're supposed to be doing in righteousness. You see? It's very important. But they'll use it and say, oh, you can't judge me for no holy day. And most I say, these are his days. These are my feast days. So you're not supposed to do it? Because somebody told you, that go to this scripture and break this down to them. Say this to them. No, that's wrong. This is for those that are doing it. You can't judge us because we are observing it. Nobody observe, because they ain't doing this. Or what religion is keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, ceremonial laws? This day. That would know that the congregation come together for the new moon. It's for we that are keeping it. Why are you saying what he's saying? So, look at Psalms 81st chapter. This one, it was ordained. Psalms 81st chapter. And we're going to look at verse 1 down. Sing aloud, sing songs unto the Most High, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the Most High power of Jacob. Take a psalm, which is a song. The psalms, they're songs. And bring hither the timbrel, like the tambourine, and the pleasant harp. The harp is, you play it. It's a stand-up, really vertical piano, really, because a piano is nothing but a harp that's horizontal, and put keys on the end of those strings. With the psalmistry, you see? Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, which is the first day of the month. They could have said new moon, they interpreters could have said the new month, the first day of our months. It does have nothing to do with Esau's first month, the way they set up the Julian calendar and so forth. We know that this is the first day of the month. You look outside, the spirit that brought to me, I was like, okay, you have people that observe the crescent moon as the new moon. But the Most High said, why would I give you anything that would have you look at something next to know we would be worshiping it? Because the heathens, look, we ain't got to go that far. Look what he said in Psalm 96 and 5. Hold that. We'll come back there. Psalm 96 and 5. For all the gods, the powers of the nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel are idols. You see? But the Most High made the heavens. Why he say that? Because they're worshiping the stars, the sun, the moon, and so forth. That's what they're doing. That's why he told us in Jeremiah 10 and 2. Jeremiah 10 and 2. 10th chapter, the 2nd verse. Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen. Hear that? He talking to this. Verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you. To who? O house of Israel, O family of Israel. Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them, you see. That's why he said, hey, when he gave us the land, he told us to kill every last one of those nations and don't deal with their idols. Because that's what they worshiping, the sun, the moon. And you have certain religions that have those signs. I know they say Islam have the crescent moon and they have the 5-point star as their symbol for their religion. Certain religions, like you say, we're going to come here and we're going to scatter among these nations. And Deuteronomy 28:64, go there and you'll see this is what we're doing. This is what has happened to us. Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people for breaking his laws, statutes, commandments, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there we go among these other nations. Thou shalt serve other gods, other idols. Remember, all the gods of the nations are idols, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, these religions. You mean Moses knew about whatever religion you want to name today? No. I'm not saying which side knew about. I mean, he knew about what's going to come to in the future. But all the prophets and apostles didn't know anything about no Catholic Church or no Baptist Church or no Jehovah's Witness or any of those. These religions. Or where they are in the Bible. He said, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Remember, all the gods of the nations are idols. What did he say? Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Come on. Wood is Christianity. Got that wooden cross that they put on the top of the church. I've seen the Pope come down the steps for some ceremony and had a little cross right there and bowed down and prayed before it. Wood and stone. Stone, got the cobblestone that the Arabs go around. You have Buddha, that's a stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in the doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Because we refuse, as it tells in verse 15, Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass. He's telling us this is going to happen to you in the future. So we the Israelites, we the only people that these curses, as he's saying, but it will come to pass if thou wilt not hearken, listen unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe, to do, not to just listen, but to do all his commandments, the same things that you're told you're not under. And his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. In the name from 16 all the way to 68. Verses, curses that befell we, the 12 tribes of Israel. So, he told us what we need to do. But what we do? We didn't follow what he said do. Therefore, the condition that you see that we're in is called hell. And not heaven. It's because we didn't do what he said do. Deuteronomy 7. In verse 1, it said, when the Most High thy power, Deuteronomy 7:1, when the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out, this is what the Most High did, many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgasites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou. Hear that? He cast out 7 nations greater than us. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, he gonna kill them before us, thou shalt smite them. Hear what he said? He said we should kill them and utterly destroy them. That's what he said. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, no contract agreements with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. So the Most High not with no interracial marriages. For they will turn away thy son from following me. He said, that they may serve other gods. See, that's the problem. For many of them on the heathen learn their works. It was a trap for us until this day. Or you should be able to tell me or someone that your religion that you've been in all your life is keeping Most High's moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, if thou can. Because it's very important. He said we ain't supposed to be getting with these other nations, but they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, other idols. Remember, all the gods of the nations are idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy these settlers. That's why we destroyed until this day. Because we still follow these idols. The way of the heathen. And it's a snare to us. He said, for they would turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, other idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Don't think in your wildest dreams that you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do, how you want to do it. And the Most High ain't going to deal with you in this day and time. Because we have offended him. Because this is what we did. Just what he said not to do. That's what he said. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. What do he say? Ye shall destroy their altars, just getting rid of everything that they believe in. Destroy their altars and break down their images. Now to this day, you got images of all these pagan gods. Break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. He said, for thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power, your power. Israelites, the Most High thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. How special? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's what Scripture says. So let's go back to Psalms 81st chapter. See, we ain't listening to what the Most High said, dude. That's why we're in a condition called hell and not heaven. Listen, he told us to get the instruments out and have a great time. Verse 3 of Psalms 81st chapter, he say, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So it's a feast day. The first day of the month is a feast day. But this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Most High, power of Jacob. Now, how are you going to deny this? For this was a statute for Israel, we the Israelites, and a law of the Most High, power of Jacob. Now, as I read Malachi 3 and 6, what does it say? For I am the Most High, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Right? Oh, but that's the Most High. That's that evil power. Like a lot of y'all like to say that. I don't heard you say, the God or the Old Testament. What about your Jesus? What did he say? What did my second Shai say? Hebrews 13 and 8. So my second Shai, who y'all call Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and and forever. Last I read John 10:30 said, I and my Father are one. They agreed. You gonna run to him thinking you're gonna run from the Most High. Shoot. Y'all don't know. He coming to judge and make war. He the one that the Most High gave the judgment to. He go sit in the judgment seat to judge you. According to that same one that you heard about in the Old Testament. Because most of y'all don't know it. But he gonna judge according to the power of the Most High. Understand over there. And he said, St. John 14:15. This is what my secretary said. St. John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Now the Most High ordained the new month, which they interpreted be the new moon. He ordained this in Joseph in Egypt. You see, look. So he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. It's a commandment. Look, you think it's not important? Psalms 81:4, for this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Most High power of Jacob. You see, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony. When he went out through the land of Egypt, because Joseph was in the land of Egypt, and we came as his brothers and sisters and family, our forefather Jacob and his wife and his children, wives, I might say, because we come from 2 men and 5 women. Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, he had 4 wives, and Joseph had a wife in Egypt that created Ephraim and Manasseh came through him. So he said, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt. Because remember our wicked brothers. So Joseph to the Arabs. And the Arabs sold Joseph to the Egyptians. So he had to go through a lot. That's why we have nothing to be boasted about. The things that we've done and still doing in offending the Most High. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt. He went out through the land of Egypt, the Most High said, where I heard a language that I understood not. So anytime they pray and call themselves praying to the Most High in their language, he said, I heard a language that I understood not. That's how much the Most High care about them saying anything, whatever they're saying. He said he heard a language that he understood not. Because the Most High said all nations before him are as nothing. It'd be less than nothing. That's what's less than nothing. Isaiah 40:17. You go in. That's why I say people don't really know. Isaiah 40:17, he said all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. That's what he says. So that's why he said we are chosen people to the Most High. Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law. But y'all saying, these pro-chop preachers saying we ain't under the law. But you hear what he said? My law. That's the Most High's law. My son, forget not my law. But let thine heart, which is your mind, keep my commandments for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. You see, this is what we're supposed to be looking at, so that we can be able to enjoy more so than have the spirit of hell all the time on us because we're not following what he said to do. Look at 2 John. Look at verse 5 and verse 6. And now I beseech thee, lady, not as though Salakia. Now I beseech thee, lady, not as though I wrote a new commandment unto thee, but that which we had from the beginning, that we love one another. We love one another. And this is love. This is love. That we walk after his commandments. This love. That we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. That's the commandment, that we walk in love. You see, that's why Mashiach Shai said, from all that you've heard so far, he said that. Luke 6:46. Luke 6 and 46. And why call ye me Mashiach Yahushai, or Jesus, or Christ, or whatever name you Jews concerning the Son of the Most High, and do not the things which I say? You say, how you call on him and do not the things that he say? What did he say? Matthew 5:17. There's something he said. I know a lot of y'all have a problem with it. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. That's the Old Testament. That's all he had to go by, was the law and the prophets. That's all he had to go by, was the law and the prophets. He said, don't even think that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, and heaven and earth is still here, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law that y'all got a problem with hearing, that you got to still follow, till all be fulfilled. Say, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. So all you that's saying we ain't under the law, you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. And your followers, your congregation, they're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven too. All you that's following that nonsense. He just said, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. That's all he had to go by. How you believe in him and you don't even believe in what he had to go by? Because you don't know it. You've been brain polluted. Your brain been polluted to think that you ain't got to follow the Most High. That's what you're saying. I ain't got to follow you. Remember, every time you think in your mind, whether you say it or not, because your thoughts, you're gonna give account for every thought you have. That we not under the law, we ain't got to follow the Most High's commandments that he wrote with his finger. Oh, you got something to look forward to. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, the least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So you got a choice to choose. Whether you're going to follow the Most High or whether you're going to follow your own way. In your own way, it's always set up to send you straight to hell. That's why I say people want to follow where they want to. They want to say, I want to use this excuse to say you got generational curses, but you know, some of you got baggage that's weighing you down by your way of how you act in this world, in dealing. Let me look up this word, temptation, in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says, on the one hand, temptation signifies any attempt to entice into evil. On the other hand, temptation indicates a testing which aims at spiritual good. Unless these two meanings are kept in view, the positive as over against the negative aspect, confusion inevitably results. See that? Unless these two meanings are kept in view, the positive as over against the negative aspect, confusion inevitably results. The Most High is not the author of confusion. So you're going to roll with Satan in its negative significance, that of enticement to perpetrate evil. Temptation in biblical teaching is traceable to Satan, just like I just said. The malignant being who stands opposing to the divine purposes of any morality. That's why I say, what church, what religion is teaching the moral laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws? Or at least learning about them. But we know we're not under that anymore. We have the civil laws, the moral laws, the dietary laws, and the ceremonial laws. But we still learn them because it's in the Bible. Understanding our story, and not just his story that'll have you in gross darkness, gross ignorance, not knowing anything that you should know to make it to the kingdom that's prepared for us already. Satan is the ultimate source of all desire and action contrary to the holy love of the Most High. We just read what the love, or what love is. In 1 John 5:3 says, for just the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. So when you see, as we go through this, how this heavy weight on your shoulder, heavy weight on your back, and you want to point the finger at somebody when you got all this baggage yourself that's weighing you down. And it's easy to point the finger at somebody, but you the one got these temptations, these temptations of Satan, whether it's coming to somebody or just in your own mind. Designated the tempter. And you read about him in Matthew the 4th chapter or Luke the 4th chapter. And we'll have to go into it.
As joined.
His mode of operation is vividly described in Genesis the 3rd chapter. The serpent told the first lie and saying that, told Eve, you ain't gonna surely die. And we die because of that. She brought to Adam. And they both believed them lies that he told them. Moses said, hey, you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you're going to surely die. You ain't going to live a day. Ain't nobody lived a day. A day to the Most High is 1,000 years. Employing the serpent as his tool, Satan skillfully undermines man's fidelity to the Most High. These same stratagems were deployed against our power on the threshold of his ministry. Now let me say this. Now, I'll read it, but the serpent, Satan, the dragon, the devil, all of them represent the same entity. Understand that. So they don't know everything they're saying. It's correct. I'm correcting you right now. So you know. See, look, let me prove it. Let me go to Revelation 12:9. You ain't gonna find that in here. I'm gonna show you. He say, use the serpent? No. He is the serpent. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon, so that's the dragon, was cast out. Who's the dragon? That old serpent. Really? What? That old serpent called the devil. There it is right there. And Satan. See? Which deceiveth the whole world. You see? He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. You see? That's why he's going up and down to and fro in the earth. And when he's cast out, what did he do? He deceived the whole world. How? Revelation 18:23. Last verse. Last sentence of Revelation 18:23. How do you see the whole world? For by thy sorceries, by thy witchcrafts, by thy spells, by thy sorceries. In Isaiah the 47th chapter say, the multitude of sorceries were all nations deceived. You see? So that's why you got to really go deep into what it takes to be able to understand this truth. And the things that is going on, they have our people's minds twisted. Well, y'all don't think that the lie is the truth. Y'all don't think evil is good and good is evil. That's our people's minds. That's enough of what they said. Let me go into the scriptures. I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people will use that excuse. Oh, I got a monkey on my back. Oh, it's generational curses, or they're going to look for somebody to bring them out of something that they have created themselves. And it's not going to work unless you come back totally to the Most High and understand this. This is real. And enjoy the fact that the Most High thought enough of you. If you hear my voice and you've been listening to this truth, to bring you out of that gross darkness, gross ignorance, into His marvelous light. And if you don't take advantage of it, you're giving the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Get out my face treatment. And it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. But He thought enough of us to give us an understanding of His word. And certain things that's been tampered with in His word. To change. To be born again. Like I'm saying, you got to be born again. That's your mind, the way you think. From you see what it said. He deceived the whole world, all nations by sorceries, witchcrafts. But He can't touch you. He done touched all of us. That's why we got to start to look at things and examine things, and it's got to make sense. You can't just do whatever. Can't go to the white man and say, okay, this is what he says, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Wisdom of Solomon 5:7 says, he wearied himself in the way of wickedness when salvation is coming on this earth. He wearied himself in the way of wickedness and destruction. He have gone through deserts where there lay no way. As for the way of the Most High and Mashakashai, we have not known it. But yet still, you going to go to Him? When He's telling you, we have not known it. But you're going to believe whatever He says. That's why I had to cut that off. When you said that Satan used the serpent. Nah, the serpent is the devil. Satan, the serpent is the devil. The serpent is the dragon. It is the spirit of Esau. And the spirit of all you out there, 2/3 of our people, all you out there that's dealing with the negative. And not keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. His rules and regulations, in other words. That's who you operating with. He going up and down, to and fro in the earth. That's your cross. Up and down, to and fro in the earth, seeking who He may devour. And He get to the minds of people to have them think wrong, have them speak wrong, have them act wrong, and want more in this hell that we in. Oh, but it's going to be, like myself, it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Because them same spirits is back. Remember, they was partying and having a good time with Noah. He would say, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. What are you talking about, rain? It ain't never rained before. What you talking about? You drunk. Like we crying out now. But one thing y'all better start saying, I'm talking to you Israelites, leaders, is to fear the Most High. And repent and keep His commandments. Because they don't fear the Most High, you ain't gonna do what's right. Because y'all still got that mindset that they teach you in the church. You ain't got to fear the Most High. Most High is all love. Oh, yeah? You heard what He just said. In Deuteronomy 7th chapter, the anger of the Most High come upon you. The fear of the Most High going to come upon this earth. You going to know who I'm talking about. When I say the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, every one of you that hear my voice. Because we done offended Him too much. And when He start visiting you, don't come calling. Well, He said, I'm going to mock you. The scripture say He gonna mock you when your calamity come and your desolation come. What you gonna do when He come for you? When you got an opportunity now. Proverbs 12:26. Proverbs 12:26. This is our opportunity now. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. You know? Say the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. You know, you might be rolling right. Been rolling right all these different months. And here come the wicked and seduce you. Next thing you know, you caught up in their web. And you ain't getting out. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. And I look at how much time do you have? People have turned to something else, or let somebody else guide them in a way that's contrary to these scriptures. And poof, they gone. What you gonna do when He come for you? He say, the righteous are more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. I mean, this is what Satan is doing. This is what he have his angels right here on the earth. He right here on the earth. What it says. Look. That's why you got to recognize him. 1 Peter 5:8 say, be sober. Be focused. Don't be no drunk. Drink in moderation. So you have your faculties, you know how to deal with whatever come at you. You still can throw down, you can still think. You operate. Your body movement, everything you got to deal with, you can focus. Be focused. He said be sober. That means be focused. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, where he at? As a roaring lion. Walking about, seeking whom may devour. And some of y'all might figure that people, they see they cool, but they ain't dealing with the truth. And that's who you're listening to. He's seeking who He may devour. Who resist steadfast in the faith. Faith in who? Faith in the Most High. But if you ain't got faith in the Most High, how you going to defeat the devil? You rolling with the devil. At any time, here he come, and you right with him. And you don't even realize it. Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Ain't so no love. Most of say who He love, He chastens. And He get those that don't do what He say do. He chasten them too. Get them too. Oh yeah. But you gotta know how to deal with rolling with Him. Romans 8. And Mashiach Yahushua, I might say. Romans 8 and 35. Romans 8:35. Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? He said, you love me, keep my commandments. So you don't love Him, you ain't doing His commandments, you ain't keeping the laws of the Most High, you don't love Him. But who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation, you catching a little hell? We been catching hell. Or distress, or persecution, or famine, you got no food, or nakedness, you ain't got the right clothes, or peril, danger, or sword. As it is written, for thy sake, we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, that means no. In all these things, we are more than conquerors through Him that loved us. More than conquerors through the Most High, who loved us and gave His life for us. Why I'm persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present in this time that we live in right now, nor things to come in the future, nor height, no matter how tall it is, how high it is, nor depth, how in depth it is. Well, you got to go down to almost the bottom of the ocean. nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Bahasham Mashiach Yahushai, our Master. If you believe it, you're going to stand on it. If not, hey, he the one's going to make the judgment. He the one coming to judge and make war. A lot of y'all forget the fact y'all think judge and make war. He coming to judge. He going to be judging for the Most High. He the one been given the power to judge every last one of us. Psalms 13 and 14. Proverbs 13 and 14. So lucky. Proverbs 14 and 13. See, that's what this is. This is a preparation. But see, some people don't want to go through it. They want to point the finger at somebody else. I ain't pointing the finger at nobody. I can't point the finger at nobody but me. Like you can't point the finger at nobody but yourself. Listen, Proverbs 13 and 14. It says, the law of the wise is a fountain of life. Hear that? The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Hear that? The law of the Most High. Because when you follow the law, you're wise. You don't. You're stupid. You're ignorant. You're in gross darkness, gross ignorance. The law of the wise is a fountain of life. You hear that? A fountain of life when you do what the Most High say do. To depart from the snares of death. You hear that? To depart from the snares, the traps of death. Many different things that you might understand if you don't understand what it is that's been written here to prevent yourself from the snares of death, the traps of death. Good understanding giveth favor. When you have good understanding, you're going to get favor. Most I say, when you please him, he make even your enemies be at peace with you. It said, but the way of transgressors is hard. The way of transgressors is hard. Proverbs 14 and 27. The fear of the Most High is a fountain of life. Remember it said the law of the wise is a fountain of life. The Most High's law that the wise are following is a fountain of life. It said the fear of the Most High. Remember I told you the first thing you leaders need to be telling the people is fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Repent and keep his commandments. You know what? The fear of the Most High is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. Hear that? It said the law could have went here first. The